So in the last video about trig, we went over what a radian is. So we learned that a radian is a unit of angle equal to the angle, blah, blah, blah. And we discovered that one radian is arc length over radius when the arc length is equal to the radius. So this is the basic definition of what one radian is, and we derived that using our formulas as well. And we also discovered that, and this is because these two cancel out, this is because we also discovered that a full circle has 2 pi radians. Okay, so now you may be wondering, what relation or how do radians compare to degrees? You may be wondering how radians and degrees work together. So in essence, they're the same thing. So let me just show you how you can work between these two, because very often you'll have to go between these two measures, especially when you're memorizing the unit circle and doing other fun stuff like that. Okay, so we know already that there are 2 pi radians in a circle. Nothing new. But we also know that there are 360 degrees in a circle. Okay? So we not only have 2 pi radians in a circle, we also have 360 degrees in a circle. And if we just put 2 and 2 together, we know that 2 pi radians is going to equal 360 degrees. Okay? And if we divided both sides by 2, we'd get that, I'm running out of space here, pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. Okay? Now this is a key relation that we'll need to know when we convert from radians to degrees. Okay? So now let's just look at some practice problems up here. So over here, we're being asked to convert from 3 pi over 2 radians to degrees and 120 degrees to radians. So let's just write out our relationship over here. So pi radians is equal to 180 degrees. We know that. Now if we take this a step further, we could say that 180 degrees over pi, just dividing both sides by pi, is equal to 1. Okay, and pi divided by 180 degrees is also going to be 1. Okay, it's just like dividing 2 and 2. It's just like dividing 2 and 2. These two are in essence the same thing, but they just look different because they're, because they are different symbols. So we know that these two are going to be equal to 1. So we can use these as what we call conversion factors. Excuse me. So these are conversion factors. Now when we use a conversion factor, we are in a sense multiplying by 1 because these two are equal to 1, but we are just changing the look of things. Okay, so let me just show you how that's done. So let's start with this one, 3 pi over 2 radians to degrees. So let's just write that out, 3 pi over 2 radians. So now which conversion factor do you think we should multiply that by to get it to degrees? So just keep in mind that radians usually always has pi. Degrees do not. Whoops. No pi. Okay. It's just, of course, there are times when they'll just give you like 3 radians and stuff like that, but more often than not, you will see that radians have pi in them. So if you want to change something from degrees to radians, so from radians to degrees, beg your pardon, you need to take the pi out. Okay. So if we want to cancel out that pi, what do we need? Which conversion factor do you think we should multiply it by? This guy up here, right? So we're going to multiply by 180 over pi. And if you notice, the 2 pi's cancel out because, yeah, math. And then the 2 and the 180 also, if you divide 180 by 2, you get 90. So we can just finish this off right here. So the 2 cancels and this becomes 90. And then this essence, this becomes 3 times 90, which is just 270 degrees. Okay. See how easy that was? Now let's try this one. Let's try going from degrees to radians. So again, here we have no pi. So if we want to get to radians, we want it to have pi this time, right? So if we want it to have pi, we need to multiply it by a factor that has pi in the top, and that is this one. So let's go. 120 times pi over 180. So I'm just going to cancel things out in a different color. So 120 and 180 cancel, and this is basically 6 over 9, which is 2 over 3, I believe. So this is 2 over 3, and this just ends up being, switch back to white, 2 pi over 3 radians. Okay, so that is basically how you'd convert between degrees and radians. So this is something you should, again, you could just put this in your calculator and do it if you wanted to, but just knowing how to cancel stuff like this is helpful, because sometimes teachers will be like, oh, you can't use a calculator for this chapter, because it's just one of the annoying things about trigonometry. So here we go. I hope that was helpful, and please do check out my other videos, to subscribe to my channel, and I will have more videos coming soon. So thanks for watching.